Hey there. Welcome back to Reddit Views, the best channel for cheating stories. Like and subscribe to the channel for more spicy stories and drop a comment for a chance to have your comment featured. Now, let's get into today's story video.
I cheated on my husband and it was awful. He knows and I think I'm going to lose him. So, since I'm not sure where to begin, I'll just go ahead and do it. I committed a major oversight. I was a complete and made a comment in another sub about wanting an open relationship, which my husband found out about. A large disagreement ensued, during which he stated certain things that I did not agree with, prompting me to leave the home and take a stroll around the neighborhood. My coworker, the person with whom I wanted to have an open relationship, phoned and invited me to his home for dinner. I decided to go forward with it since the conversation had led nowhere, so I requested that he pick me up and we returned to his home. The two of us drank a few drinks and then walked into the bedroom, where he turned on the television and we watched some absurd movie for a few minutes before I made a move and slid down onto his behind. Unsatisfactory results, to put it mildly, were the end result. His appearance seemed to come out of nowhere and last around 20 seconds. His attention was suddenly drawn away from me and he returned to his television. This went on for over an hour, and just as I was getting ready to go, he proceeded to straddle me. I just responded, "Forget it," and went through with the situation. The S was horrible. To put it mildly, it was embarrassing. Because his tongue was sensitive from eating Pringles, he refused to come down on me, so we went straight to S and it was just a clumsy 10 minutes of intercourse. He forgot to take a step back as well. He then rolled over and returned to his seat to continue watching television. I got ready in a hurry and headed back home. On the way back, I thought and realized that all I needed was a little excitement to break up the monotony, and that it wasn't quite as exciting as it had been made up to be. When it comes to actual S, my husband is much better to everyone else I've ever been with because of his extensive knowledge. I wish I had realized this sooner, but it's too late now. I was also really cruel to him. I noted his stature in my last essay, but he's around 7 inches tall, so he's not exactly a little man. I was just letting a fantasy of being with someone else to take precedence. The moment I walked through the door, my husband was still in the kitchen. I tried to engage him in conversation, but he just put on headphones and started preparing pasta. At some point, he took them out and put the spaghetti in a large mixing bowl. I asked if I might have any, but he refused since he doesn't like to share and promptly devoured the whole batch. Due to my exhaustion and emotional state, I just went to bed. A little over an hour later, he roused me up, and I figured he was trying to have S with me or something. Instead, he just took my blanket and threw me a towel before strolling into the living room and settling down for the night. I went back to sleep once I found a rug to sleep on. I tried to talk to him when he was sitting on the couch, but he didn't pay attention. I got up early because it was cool outdoors and the heater in my room had been turned off. Because of this, I had more time to ponder, and I realized just how badly I had messed up, and that I needed to concentrate on being a better wife. I tried to talk to my husband throughout the day. He's just non-responsive. After making a move at him, he turned away from me and left the room, which was something he'd never done in his whole life. If he was too drowsy for S, he'd at the very least go down on me, but today he looked completely disinterested in anything at all, even me. I've also noticed that he hasn't had anything to eat or drink today, and he seems to be very fatigued. Despite my best efforts to engage him and get him to sit down, he just stood up and departed the house. I tried to reach him, but his phone went to voicemail, so I texted him to tell him that I loved him and that we needed to talk as soon as possible for the sake of our relationship. This is what he emailed me in response. "I am no longer interested in having a dialogue or getting married with you. I'm going to be staying someplace else till the end of the year. I expect you to be gone by the time I go back to my room. I don't want you to come back to this place since it used to be my home. I've contacted an attorney and will now communicate via her. I am no longer in possession of this phone number." I made a few phone calls and learned that my husband was staying at my sister's house. I'm concerned because she's attractive and unmarried, and I'm aware that she's had a minor crush on him for quite some time. I'm concerned that she'll take advantage of this to make a pass on him. Asked what was going on, I called her and she responded by telling me that she loves me but that she would not support me after what I'd done, and that we should not interact for a long period of time. Though I see my error, she's my sister, and she's supposed to be there for me right now, rather than playing housewife to my husband, which is what she's doing today. I was told by my sister's next-door neighbor that my husband and sister had been shopping together earlier in the day and that she had been acting like his lover. What should I do about it? I'm not sure what to do since I feel duped. I adore my sister, but I loathe her right now for what she has done. All I hope is that she doesn't have her way with my husband. A lot of things have happened in a short period of time, and I'm not sure what to feel or do at the moment. All I want is for things to return to their regular state. Please accept my apologies for the lengthy article, but I just wanted to vent. I'm well aware that I made a mistake, but I had no idea things would turn out this badly. Story 2. I think my wife is cheating on me. Background: I'm a USMC veteran suffering from PTSD and despair. I'd been getting VA assistance for almost 12 years. After I left the Marine Corps, I met my wife. She, too, is a Marine veteran. I am a 100% service-connected, disabled veteran. I presently remain at home while she works from 2 p.m. until 12 a.m. We used to have sex on a regular basis when we first started dating, 2013. Then I screwed up our finances by using our personal credit cards to investigate our failed commercial operations, 2017. In addition to losing our company and incurring debt, my wife was laid off. We went from earning about $240,000 per year to little more than $60,000. She was furious with me when we almost lost everything, had no backup, and had to relocate 2,000 miles to recover financially. Longer story, but it made the most sense. Essentially, we had a fire sale to finance our relocation and pay bills so that we could move into our investment home. Following the relocation, I became quite open about my expenses, providing weekly and monthly budget updates. Even after 9 months of recovery, I still felt hatred. We were still in debt, but we were clawing our way out at a breakneck speed thanks to both of our efforts. I finally asked her whether she had forgiven me. She sobbed and said she hadn't, mid-2018. She replied she'd do it right then and there. Our friendship improved noticeably. So much so that we accomplished something we had no idea we could do. We had children, mid-2019. We had attempted in the past, but one of us seemed to be unable due to health issues. Our friendship became even stronger. We made the decision to sell our one-bedroom apartment and relocate closer to my family, 2020. During the early phases of the COVID-19 pandemic response, I obtained a well-paying work and we were accepted for a loan on a very good property. The S got rather regular: shower S, different rooms, BJS, swimming pool. After 4 months, I was laid off. S has ceased. In addition to having a mortgage, a new car, and around 6 months' worth of expenses saved, we also had almost a year's worth of funds in other accounts from the sale of our apartment. My wife located a job that paid far more than the one I had recently lost, and she took it with no reservations. It is intended for a retail company, however it will not be offered for purchase at the store. As a result, normal hours, 3p12a, Tuesday through Saturday, exceptional privileges, and retail discounts are available. Fun stores. The transition from one position to another went well. She was delighted with her new position. There is an issue with our connection since the physical component of it has stopped working. Since working at the warehouse, which is a large warehouse, she's developed a new habit of arriving home from work, 1-ish on regular nights, 2:45-ish on OT nights, and immediately showering. Whenever I am a bit too enthusiastic, she inquires as to whether or not she has a headache. My patience is limited, and I can only take so much before I begin to think she is no longer interested in me. When I stated my feelings to her, she acknowledged that she was not interested in having relations. As a result, I become frustrated with her refusal to allow me to even make an effort to caress or comfort her in any way. She does not want to be in a terrible attitude because of whatever she has done. I'm looking for zeal. I'd want to go back to the situation we were in 8 years or 1 year ago. When she gets home at night, she just wants to sleep, and morning isn't really her thing either. But I can't get the feeling that she's having her physical needs met by someone else. That her occupational therapy isn't actually OT. She is paid, therefore she is not required to report to work or leave work.